Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Said that he alleges that Diddy strapped it to his face and made him parade around a party.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country? Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify.
What if all you had ever believed about Jay-Z and Diddy's friendship turned out to be a fabrication as shocking courtroom evidence rocks the music industry? Explosive new allegations mean that the backlash isn't only for Diddy, but Jay-Z could be next. What actually happened in court? And why has it left waves of concern in celebrity circles? Watch this space as we deconstruct the bombshell revelations, which have put even the most influential on high alert.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country? Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Are you surprised to hear from me?
No. What's going on?
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside? I think you know me a little better than that.
We can't be talking right now, Puff.
Nah. With all due respect, my brother, how is your wife doing? I heard she's spending a lot of time on the farm, and she loves talking to a pig. I told you when I went on this little road trip, I wasn't going to invite you, but I could change my mind. You understand?
Listen, everything all good. We just can't talk right now.
Now, how about I just talk and you listen? You told me the storm would just come and go if I lay down and stay quiet, but the weather seemed to be getting worse. You know, I could be catching a cold, so I need to make sure you send me some vitamin E and my special K cereal.
Relax. Some things fell through, but everything will be back up soon. Just keep calling your family. You'll be with them soon.
Oh, I'm doing the same thing for Thanksgiving. Make sure you send it straight to the Shade Room and TMZ. Make me look like a good father, and all I need is one juror to be on my side, and this case is over. Make sure them Amazon deliveries get back on schedule, then there won't be no need for us to talk anymore.
Just chill out, Puff. I told you I'ma get it done.
The world of entertainment was hit with a shockwave as Diddy's courtroom bombshells erupted across headlines. A case that many believed would quietly play out in the courts of law instead sparked a tempest that spread throughout the celebrity echelons, leaving even the most inviolable figures on pins and needles. The trial itself, already loaded with drama, became the focus of fervent scrutiny after a bombshell testimony exposed connections and claims no one anticipated. According to inner-city press, details coming from the courtroom destroyed any hope for discretion, pulling names and affiliations into the light that many thought were safely buried inside the courtroom. The atmosphere was charged with tension, almost choking in its force. Witnesses squirmed uncomfortably under the unremitting scrutiny of attorneys, while Diddy himself sat at defense counsel's table, his normally cool demeanor breaking under the ferocity of the moment. Periodically, he'd look towards the gallery, his face unreadable, but his stance betrayed him, stiff, locked in place, as if steeling himself for impact. Each dramatic assertion shattered the veneer. Attendees, including unsuspecting industry insiders and media members, shared hushed glances, their unease mounting with each new development. Whispers spread through the ranks as the gallery seemed to collectively grasp that this wasn't all about Diddy anymore. The most unnerving specifics boiled down to whispers of an even greater network at work, one that potentially implicated other top players in the music industry.
You know, I've been thinking about watching a movie lately. It's called Eyes Wide Shut. Have you seen it? It's got a real famous celebrity in there, don't it?
Yeah, Tom Cruise. What's your point?
Is that who it is? Man, I thought it was a different celebrity. I guess it might have been a different movie. You know, I got a lot of movies on my mind sometimes, and I get the actors confused. Some of these actors are so good, they act like they don't even know they're being recorded. Your wife did a few movies, then she? Wife did a few movies, then she?
Okay. That was a long time ago, Puff. What the fuck are you trying to say?
Oh, nothing. Just talking to an old friend. You know, I haven't talked to friends in a long time. It seemed like they forgot about me. Let's make sure they keep it that way. Let's make sure they keep it that way.
Man, what's the point of this? I told you everything straight.
Good. And make sure you keep the worm food away from my house while I'm gone. It gets messy. Too many insects start digging around. Remember when I cleaned up the worm food around your house? I kept a sample in case you need it. I kept a sample in case you need it.
Oh, really? Listen, don't push your limits, Puff. I ain't the one to play with. You in there, and I'm out here.
Oh, and don't have another Kit Kat. It's bad for you. She made me gain weight. And get 44 on board again. Make him pull some strings again, or else.
First of all, Puff, you need to watch your mouth. You know who you're talking to? Second of all, this the that got you in the first place. You always think that you're bigger than what you really are. You need to stop trying to bite the hand that feeds you, and you wouldn't be in this position. And you don't got what you think you got. You don't got what you think you got.
Okay, you getting all fired up. I like that, Daddy. It's all love. But if I don't got what I think I got, then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country? Why Leo been in Fiji for months? When I get this bail though, this case going away. I don't need no phones. I don't need no internet. I'll send a letter on a fucking bird. You already ruined my fucking name. And you know what that means? You going up against somebody who got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
This wasn't merely about missteps or legal woes contained within a single man's testimonies. Some general others, disturbingly specific, implied a system of connections and dealings that spread far beyond Diddy's immediate inner circle. As reported by Inner City Press, one specific statement took attention: a witness breezily mentioning a high-profile name, in passing freezing the courtroom for a moment as the ripple effect took hold. For the folks in the room, it was no longer about what went down weeks ago or months ago, but what these revelations might portend for the future. Few dared to breathe as speculation began to mount among the names whispered in the wake. Jay-Z's presence loomed large, though nothing concrete linked him directly to the case at this point. Some testimony referenced past encounters, opening questions about the extent of his involvement or knowledge of certain dealings. What really had the public eating its collective breath was the dominoic unraveling of relationships and partnerships. Diddy's trial had made one thing painfully apparent: no one working in these circles was completely untouchable. If one thread could unravel, there was no way of knowing how far it might reach. For now, speculation swirled around Jay-Z's connections, faint yet strong enough to arouse unease. But this was merely the start. Witness lists, press commentary, and public outrage were already ratcheting up the pressure. The sense that more revelations lay ahead hung over Hollywood and the music world like an ominous storm cloud. And while so many questions go unanswered, one becomes impossible to ignore. What about these explosive revelations has Jay-Z so on edge? Is it guilt by association or something much more incriminating?
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He ain't doing shit different. The acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangsta. And she was trained at the esteemed Berkeley College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
It's like, I heard some shit about he has clothes on or something. I don't know. Like, I don't really know if all this is true, but I just heard parts like, I'm like, what happened to my guy?
Right.
And then they come out with the official. It was a mixture of some stuff, the prescription and something else or something that I don't really know. But with me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me. I never really heard anything tangible or true, like what happened to my guy.
Okay, when you hosted for Diddy, did you catch any baby oil?
You'll see
When I hosted for Diddy? Yeah.
You asking the wrong person the wrong question.
Rihanna, did you attend any of P. Diddy's parties? Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?
What about Diddy's trial might possibly have been connected to Jay-Z? At first glance, these two music moguls may seem linked only by occasional collaboration or mutual industry influence, but as information from the trial came out, observers soon discovered their connections might go deeper than business. As usual over the years, Jay-Z and Diddy have had overlapping social and professional circles, sharing acquaintances with key players in music nightlife, and even the corporate realm. Their intersecting success stories have long painted a picture of mutual respect, but now a shadow has been cast over those connections. Central to that cloud of suspicion are mentions made in the courtroom that seem to suggest shady dealings between high-profile players. Inner city press reported that particular testimony suggested partnerships and events where Diddy wasn't the sole one with great influence. While no direct accusation have been hurled at Jay-Z as yet, legal pundits have noted how the seemingly benign overlap between the two moguls is now being scrutinized. One particular example raised eyebrows: discussions of expensive industry parties and gatherings that, according to witnesses, involve tightly controlled guest lists and an aura of secrecy that
was in this Pimp C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio, and every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it. But if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a millionaire, man. Whoever it was, they had to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Well, don't leave. You don't need to speak out against this Diddy thing. What's your take now? John, you made a statement about Diddy. What? Jason, hey, my man, do you have any reaction to the Diddy scandal? Any reaction? No reaction? Is everything going?
Everything good.
Is Hollywood going to survive this Diddy thing? Like, don't worry. Will you respond? She wants to respond. Look at it. I want to ask about the Diddy scandal. Have you ever heard of anything such?
No. Go.
No? Is the Baldwin family at all concerned about Justin Bieber with this P. Diddy thing?
in retrospect seems far from harmless. Jay's appearance at some of those events is well documented, and while that in itself proves nothing, the reference to those occasions in a courtroom context has fueled public curiosity behind the scenes. Insiders say Jay's camp is keeping a very close eye on the trial's goings-on publicly. He has remained silent, but reports detail growing unease within his camp. The question isn't whether Jay's might be directly implicated, it's whether these connections, now under scrutiny, might begin to paint him in an unfavorable light. Even associations that once seemed harmless now feel as if they carry potential repercussions for people with empires as large as Jay's. The risk isn't just legal exposure, it's reputational damage that can have doors quietly shutting within critical networks. What makes this more worrisome is the broader implication of charges presented in court. Legal experts have noted that while a trial centers on certain charges, the testimony can inadvertently strip bare a culture or system that connects many individuals. When figures like Jay-Z share history with someone at the center of such a trial, it's easy for those connections to raise suspicions. The nature of celebrity amplifies this. Even circumstantial connections can spark a media frenzy, forcing those involved to respond to accusations that may not even exist yet. And yet one revelation from the trial has stirred even more whispers about Jay's involvement. A witness spoke of a particular business transaction, a deal made at the height of both men's careers. No concrete wrongdoing was suggested, yet the timing and circumstances made it noteworthy enough for some to raise questions. Was it purely coincidental?
That he alleges that Diddy strapped a to his face and made him parade around a party. And he says that in this party, Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron, and Gloria Estefan saw him in rare form because of this.
Say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No. They don't. I've never said that.
They also say that you told them, and they have it on tape, that I, Tony Busby, told you to came up with this plan and told you to say that Jay-Z assaulted you so you would get more money.
No.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
Typically, the victim is lured into a situation where he or she is given a drink. Typically, that drink, reported by these victims, is apparently laced with something. Once that drink takes effect, perpetrators perform all kinds of sexual acts on the victims.
This guy from neighborhoods similar to where I've grown up that made it to these unreachable heights. Puff was the first one that came through and made us feel like, it was us. It was ghetto fabulous. We took our rightful place at the tables in the boardrooms and the fashion shows, and we arrived.
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also.
You can't tell me Jada see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. No. You can't tell me, you want to tell me that working on an album that he ain't never seen a 14-year-old girl come in the vicinity?
My belief is that anybody who's worked with him and been in his cipher has seen it go down.
For years, Jay-Z's rise to business and music dominance has been celebrated as one of the most iconic success stories in entertainment, but now in the wake of Diddy's trial incidents and decisions from Jay-Z's past are being pulled back into the spotlight, framed in a way that raises uncomfortable questions. Public interest is no longer just focused on Diddy's trial, but on the kind of environment that allowed power players to thrive unchecked for decades, and Jay-Z's history, one that was largely seen as inspiring, is now being scrutinized under this harsher lens. One of the incidents now being revisited is Jay-Z's involvement with Rockefeller Records. And its early days in the music industry, Rockefeller played a major role in shaping hip-hop, but it also operated in the high-stakes, high-pressure world of late-night deals and exclusivity. During this time, Jay-Z partnered with figures who would later face legal troubles, while his name was never tied to malpractice at the time. Critics are now questioning how close he may have been to some of the questionable actions allegedly taking place around him. These questions don't align with direct accusations, but reflect a renewed interest in examining the bigger picture, how these moguls built their empires with the same circles of influence. Adding fuel to this scrutiny is the now infamous stabbing incident involving Jay-Z and music executive Lance Unriva back in 1999. At the time, Jay-Z took responsibility, pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge, and publicly moved on framing it as an isolated incident in a turbulent industry. Now, however, that moment feels less like an outlier and more like a glimpse into an industry that kept its darkest actions behind the scenes. Some are asking whether this wasn't just a personal altercation, but reflective of a climate where aggression was an unwritten rule among power players. As more courtroom testimony highlights secretive deals and exclusivity, old events like this one linger in the background as the public purrs a larger culture of unchecked behavior. Meanwhile, media narratives surrounding Jay-Z's business dealings are beginning to shift. Collaborative ventures that once symbolized his trailblazing stature are now being revisited with skepticism. For instance, his relationship with Diddy on projects like the Forbes 5, which highlighted hip-hop's wealthiest mogul, now comes across as a strategic alignment in a much smaller and tight-knit network than previously acknowledged. The kind of access and collaboration showcased in their partnerships is being re-evaluated not as a coincidence, but as a deliberate connection in an era that bred questionable alliances. Public forums online are already buzzing with speculation, and whispers in the industry suggest more people are beginning to wonder about potential overlaps between Jay-Z's business contacts and the names that have come up in Diddy's trial. One significant moment that stands out involves Jay's acquisition of Tidal's streaming platform was positioned as an artist-first service,